Okay. No, it's not. So I just say like random in context. Wait, so you're currently live? Yes, I am.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Seattle Nutrition Education Initiative of Summer 2025. My name is Joshua Morgan, and I'm honored to be your MC for today's event. This conference is a proud effort of our student-led initiative to highlight one of the most overlooked and elements of public health, nutrition. The Seattle Nutrition Education Initiative was founded by students who believe that understanding nutrition is not just a personal benefit, but it's a social responsibility. Nutrition impacts our communities, our healthcare systems, and even our future generations. Through this initiative, we hope to educate, inspire, and empower, starting with youth. Today, we're thrilled to share a diverse lineup of student research, interactive sessions, and thought-provoking presentations. You'll hear about everything from chronic disease prevention to food insecurity, social media, gut health, and even policy change, all through the lens of nutrition. So thank you for being here today, and let's make this day filled with learning, dialogue, and celebration of youth-led change. So we're going to start off by introducing our two bio readers, who's going to introduce me and themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Karenya Morgan, and I'm going to be one of your bio speakers. So first I'm going to be introducing Joshita Morgan. Joshita Morgan is a rising senior at North Creek High School. She aspires to become a physician specializing in neurology. She is a member of the National Honor Society, where she received 2 gold presidential awards. In FBLA, placed top 5 at nationals. She founded NeuroPath, a nonprofit organization dedicated to raising awareness and support for Alzheimer's and epilepsy through education and community engagement. Outside academics, she is passionate about dance, having completed a Bharatanatyam Arvitram, and is currently volunteering as a dance teacher at Nrityalayya School of Dance. She danced in 3 major Bharatanatyam dance productions as well. Her dance team also placed second at a national competition on Flowers TV USA. Additionally, she plays bass in Geetanjali, a non-profit fundraising band, and loves to sing and play the piano. As a dancer and a varsity badminton player, she believes that to do all these activities, proper nutrition is necessary so one can also stay healthy. She is excited to be a co-founder of the Seattle Nutrition Education Initiative to be able to bring out the importance of a good nutrition and the positive impacts it has for our entire body.
So as Karanya just said, she is one of the student bio readers today, and Karanya Morgan is a dedicated and ambitious student entering the 8th grade at Skyview Middle School. As a proud member of the National Junior Honor Society, or NJHS, she has shown a strong commitment to leadership and service, completing over 75 hours of volunteer work, far exceeding the minimum requirement. Her dedication reflects her academic excellence and her desire to make a meaningful impact on her community. Outside the classroom, Karanya is a well-rounded individual with a passion for both the arts and the athletics. She's an avid soccer player who trains regularly and competes with enthusiasm and determination. In addition to her athletic pursuits, she's musically talented, having studied piano for several years. Her commitment to music showcases her creativity, discipline, and appreciation for the arts. Karenia is also deeply interested in science and technology. As a key member of the Electric Eagles, a VEX IQ robotics team, she helped design, build, and program a robot that qualified for the state competition, an impressive accomplishment. She believes that proper nutrition plays a vital role in supporting her active lifestyle and enabling her to participate fully in academics, sports, and extracurriculars.
Ria Gupta is a rising freshman at the Overlake School. She's passionate about biology and hopes to become a doctor one day. She is currently researching CAR T-cell therapy, a cutting-edge form of immunotherapy that engineers the body's own T-cells to fight cancer. Throughout middle school, she was a proud member of the National Junior Honor Society, where she's been able to grow through both service and scholarship. Academically, she enjoys pushing herself in science competitions, earning first place in the MCR biology contest and second place on the North-South Foundation Senior Science Week, in which she was also invited to nationals. Besides competitions, she's had the opportunity to teach summer courses at ICO, a STEM education center with facilities throughout the nation, where she worked with younger students to build their understanding of coding and science. Teaching has helped her strengthen her own skills while encouraging others to find joy in STEM. She's also been a competitive debater with multiple first-place team and individual finishes in both public forum and parliamentary debate. Debate has also taught her to think critically, speak persuasively, and approach complex topics with an open mind. Outside of the classroom, she's a dedicated musician, having completed level 8 certification throughout the Royal Conservatory of Music and received several awards from WSMTA and LWMTA for piano performance. All of these experiences have shaped how she thinks, learns, and communicates. And she's excited to keep learning new challenges as she continues on her path toward a career in medicine. Thank you.
So let's begin with our first round of trifold presentations, and please give your attention as they share their amazing research and work to the rest of us. We're going to start off with Tanushree Mohan, and I want to invite the bio readers to come and read their bio.
Tanushree is an incoming freshman at North Creek High School who inspires to go into the medical field after college. Over the last year, Tanushree has earned recognition from science competitions like WSSEF and NSF. Over the years, Tanushree has completed over 100 hours of community service. Giving back to the community is something she values as it helps her show her gratitude to her community. And additionally, Tanushree is an active member of the nonprofit organization SEWA, where she helped provide physical education to seniors in her community. Similar to community service, musical arts are another one of Tanushree's passions. She learns Bharatanatyam at the Nrityala School of Dance and learns to play the violin at the Suzuki School of Violin. In addition to academics and the arts, Tanushree has been playing badminton for 8 years. Nutrition is something that Tanushree values, as it is one of the many ways to have a balance in life.
Hi everyone. Before I start my presentation today, I just wanted to know what all of you know about nutrition. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. When you answer the question, you're going to get a little treat, which is some M&Ms. So yeah, let's begin. So number 1, which is the only non-animal source of vitamin D? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Huh? No, it's mushrooms. But you get another one.
I didn't get it right.
No, it's okay. Okay. Okay, next up. Between avocado and potassium, which one has more potassium?
Avocado and potassium.
Avocado. Whoa. That's correct, actually. Okay, and now the last and final question. Name 3 plant-based foods that contain proteins.
Beans.
Okay.
I'll give someone else a chance.
Tofu, beans, and eggs. Or not.
That's not plant-based.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
the eggs were, it's fine.
Okay.
Same thing, please.
Okay. Now, while I speak today, I just want everyone to keep in mind how what I say can implement in your life and how you're affected by it. Energy, focus, mood, strength, confidence. What do all these words have in common? Well, they all relate back to the powerful force, nutrition. But what is nutrition and how is it impacted by public health? Nutrition refers to the process of utilizing and digesting foods and beverages to maintain health. Nutrition can come from the broccoli everyone loves or the broccoli everyone hates, and the soda everyone loves. But that's not all nutrition is, especially in terms of public health. I'm sure we've all heard the phrase, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, I hate to tell all children here, that phrase is actually scientifically proven. Statistics show that people with poor diets, 45 out of 100 of them will develop a chronic disease, like heart disease, diabetes, or high blood pressure. Meanwhile, people with healthy diets, only 12 out of 100 of them will develop a chronic disease like this. And I think that we can all agree that this is a huge difference. Almost 70% of chronic diseases can be stopped by a healthy diet. Just think about it, 70%. Over half of the US's chronic diseases could be regulated if people put some time into thinking and maintaining a healthy diet. But nutrition doesn't just stop there. Nutrition doesn't only impact the body, but it also impacts one's mind. According to the famed Harvard School of Public Health, diets rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats are linked to significantly lower risks of depression. Leading psychiatrists now consider nutrition a key part of mental health treatments. When institutions like Harvard and leading psychiatrists come to these conclusions, I'm sure we can take away that what we eat doesn't just impact our body, but also our mood, behavior, and very confidence. Nutrition can change how a person acts, feels, and does. And that is important. It tells us that what we eat doesn't only shape us, but it also shapes us to who we will become. Now, I know for a lot of people, you may think that nutrition is hard to keep up with. And yes, while it is true that some diets and nutritional advice can be confusing and overwhelming, there's a lot of uncontrollable evidence that nutrition helps one's overall well-being. Take The Lancet, for example, a study conducted in 2019, which analyzed data from 195 countries and found that poor diet is the leading risk factor for death and disability worldwide. The study showed that diets low in fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and high in processed meats and sugar significantly increased the risk of stroke, diabetes, and heart disease. This study shows that poor nutrition is more dangerous than smoking and high blood pressure, two of the leading causes of mortality today. So, if nutrition has this many benefits, why don't we all just eat healthy? Well, like I said, nutrition can be hard to manage with. And that's a problem everyone in the world faces. And why is that? Well, you guessed it. The answer to almost every single one of our economic problems today: inflation. As prices increase, it becomes harder and harder to buy organic, fresh foods. Instead, people resort to the cheaper, high processed, and sugary foods. Every day that people choose cookies and chips over spinach and broccoli is a day where they're promoting macronutrient deficiencies, where only an insufficient amount of vitamins have been consumed, and underconsumption, where a, a condition of having lack of calories. So nutrition is not just about the body. Nutrition affects the mind and one's overall well-being too. It's time to take nutrition more seriously, because over the past years, we've neglected it, we've put it aside, but not anymore. Because when we nourish the community, we strengthen our future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanushree, for your presentation. It was really insightful. And now we're going to introduce one of our video presentations. Unfortunately, they were not able to make it in person, so they're going to join us through their video presentation. And we're going to start off with Swarisha, and we're going to have one of the bio readers come read their bios. Okay, we will be starting with the presentation.
Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Riconda, and I'll be talking about food systems in crisis, how global emergencies such as war, climate change, and pandemics threaten our food security and nutrition. More importantly, I'll share how we can respond with sustainable science-based nutritional solutions. Right now, over 800 million people are hungry. That's nearly 1 in 10 people on Earth. But hunger isn't just about food availability. It's about systems. Our food systems are breaking down under the weight of conflict, climate disasters, and economic shocks. These breakdowns create nutritional emergencies, especially for vulnerable populations. So what's driving this crisis? First, conflict. Wars such as the ones in Ukraine or Sudan disrupt production and block supply chain routes. Second, climate change. Extreme weather events wipe out crops and livestock. Third, pandemics. Like COVID-19, halted trade and made food unaffordable. And finally, inequality and inflation. Even when food exists, many simply can't afford it. The effects go beyond hunger. We're seeing micronutrient deficiencies like iron and vitamin A, which can lead to anemia, blindness, and developmental delays. Children suffer the most. Malnutrition weakens their bodies and their minds. And in many cities, we also see obesity rising due to poor quality diets, what's known as the double burden of malnutrition. Global organizations are stepping in though. The World Food Program delivers emergency food aid. The FAO monitors food systems and supports farming recovery. And the WHO provides nutritional guidelines during crises. And all of these NGOs deliver on the ground support, like school meals, community kitchens, and ready-to-eat therapeutic foods. Now let's take a case study example. Yemen. Years of work have devastated Yemen's markets and farms. Now 17 million people are food insecure. In response, the WFP and the UNICEF provide food rations and nutritional supplements. At the same time, local efforts such as training farmers and planting gardens help build resilience. Innovations in nutritional solutions. We're also seeing more amazing innovations. Fortified foods like pumpkin nuts save malnourished children's lives. Biofortification, like golden rice, adds nutrition directly to stable crops. Urban farming and vertical gardens help cities grow fresh produce, and tech with mobile apps and AI helps track malnutrition and optimize supply chains. Policy and systemic changes are needed, but emergency aid isn't enough. We need policies that support long-term change. We can promote climate-smart agriculture, shift subsidies towards nutritional crops, protect local food systems, and guarantee access to affordable, healthy food, especially for children and mothers. So what can we do? We must make nutrition a top priority, not just during emergencies, but as a foundation for global health and development. That means investing in sustainable agriculture, supporting science-based innovation, and empowering communities to feed themselves. Because food is more than survival. It's dignity, resilience, and life itself. Thank you so much for listening. I'm happy to answer any questions or hear your thoughts. Feel free to reach out if you'd like to have some more information about this topic. And you can visit the WFP.org Global Nutrition Selections or any other parts that I indicated in this presentation. Thank you so much.
That was a very nice presentation, and now we're going to move on to our next in-person live presentation by Aryan. And his presentation is on nutrition labeling and consumer behavior. So we're going to have the bio leaders come up so they can introduce Aryan.
So Aryan is a rising 8th grader at Eastside Preparatory School with a passion for using technology to understand the human mind and body. Aryan brings 7 years of robotics experience, culminating in a standout season as a co-leader of the Super Awesome Ninjas, placing first in Western Washington Finals in representing Washington State at the first LEGO League FLL World Competition 2025. After winning multiple championships, including Robot Game Winner and 2 Champions Awards, his team ranked 45th amongst 254 global teams. He's now leveling up to First Tech Challenge FTC, trading Legos for steel. Beyond the robot arena, Aryan captains his parliamentary debate team and is a standout debater in Lincoln Douglas debate, securing top ranks across regional and national circuits, including several top speaker awards and team awards. He's also chief of staff intern at R-Cube Ventures, where he seasonally manages social media channels and leads community fundraising for HLWF Alliance, a nonprofit transforming healthcare. Aryan is fluent in English and Spanish and is learning conversational French and Hindi. Aryan is an active athlete competing in basketball and swimming. His hobbies include playing Roblox, coding in JavaScript, Python, participating in advanced math contests, reading action and fantasy books, and exploring his neighborhood on his bike and hoverboard. Aryan's goal for the future is to design that robots that doesn't just function, but think and feel like humans.
Okay, so is everyone ready? Okay, then I'll start my speech now. Good morning, my name is Aryan Rao John, and today I'll be talking about how information transparency in nutrition labeling affects consumer behavior. For example, how many of you, when you go shopping, look explicitly for organic products? Well, that's a prime example of how nutrition labeling is currently affecting consumer behavior. Let's first talk about why nutrition labeling is important. It's for 3 key reasons. First, it promotes public health. Clear labeling can help combat obesity, diabetes, and heart disease, and other diet-related illnesses by encouraging healthier eating habits. 2, increased transparency and accountability. Labels hold food companies accountable for what they put in their products, and prevent misleading marketing and ensures truth in advertising. And three, it encourages industry improvement. When consumers demand healthier options, companies are motivated to reformulate their products, for example, by reducing the amount of added sugars, unhealthy fats, or excessive sodium. Next, let's talk about the history of FDA policy surrounding nutrition labeling. The US journey towards transparent food labeling began in 1906 with the Pure Food and Drug Act, over 120 years ago, establishing the first federal standards to combat food adulteration, a pivotal movement in consumer protection. In 1938, the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act gave the FDA its first real authority over food labeling, marking the beginning of federal oversight in what companies could claim about their products. Fast forward to 1990, the Nutrition Labeling and Education Act, or NLEA, revolutionized food packaging. It introduced the now familiar nutrition facts panel and expanded the FDA's ability to regulate health claims. The FDA's 2006 trans fat labeling rule was a landmark. It helped drive down trans fat use and paved its way for the eventual ban in 2018, saving thousands of lives of heart disease. In 2016, the nutrition facts label got a modern upgrade, highlighting calories in bold and adding a line for added sugars, a change driven by mapping evidence from JAMA and other journals on sugars linked to obesity and metabolic disease. Now, in 2025, the FDA is proposing front-of-package label warnings for saturated fat, sodium, and added sugars, a bold step modeled after successful global systems aimed at aligning with evolving nutrition science. Next, let's talk about patient outcomes and if there are tangible impacts to patient outcomes from nutrition labeling. Nutrition labels aren't just background noise on packaging, they actively shape what people eat. A meta-analysis conducted by the Federal Register, that's visually highlighted by this graph, found that front-of-pack labels help reduce calorie intake by 6.6%, cut fat by 10%, and boost vegetable consumption by 13.5%. Clinical studies now show that food labels can directly improve health outcomes. For example, food as medicine interventions using labeled meals have been shown to significantly improve blood sugar control in patients with diabetes. Perhaps most striking, as I talked about, is the FDA's trans fat labeling rule in 2006 that paved the way for its eventual ban and saved thousands of lives of heart disease. These aren't just statistical shifts, they're real people making healthier choices. Clear, evidence-based labeling is one of the simplest and most powerful tools we have for improving public health at scale. Next, let's talk about potential updates and if globally banned substances should be labeled as such in the United States. Some additives that remain legal in the United States, like artificial dyes, RBST growth hormones, and certain ultra-processed food components, are outright banned in other countries based on evidence linking them to health concerns such as endocrine disruption and allergic reactions. In an article written by The Guardian, data from lots of studies, including robust meta-analyses, consistently link high sodium, sugar, and saturated fat content with chronic disease risk, such as hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease, which raises ethical questions about allowing these ingredients in shelves without warning. Countries like Chile, Mexico, and various EU nations have adopted front-of-pack label warnings that activate behavioral change. One Chilean study showed a 27% drop in sugar purchasing and a 37% drop in salt purchasing post-label rollout. A study conducted by SagePub supports that warning labels, including those signaling ingredients banned elsewhere, improve consumerability and understanding. One meta-analysis confirmed that on-product warnings reliably promote safer choices. Critics worry that an X ingredient is banned in country Y label might trigger backlash thanks to psychological reactants, but studies show that well-designed factual warning labels can improve knowledge, shift perceptions, and reduce intentions to purchase. Finally, let's talk about where we should go from here and the path we should continue to optimize both nutrition labeling and public health. As I talked about, countries like Chile and Mexico introduced mandatory front-of-pack label warnings that saw measurable drops in sugar and saturated fat content, showing bold label policies can reshape public behavior. The US could consider labeling ingredients that are banned elsewhere to increase transparency, but any such move must be designed carefully to inform, not alarm. Emerging tools like QR codes, smartphone apps can give consumers on-demand access to detailed product data without overwhelming the front label. Labeling alone isn't a silver bullet. Studies in JAMA and the New England Journal of Medicine show that combining clear label with public education campaigns and healthy food access leads to the greatest health improvement. Looking ahead, researchers and policymakers should focus on clinical trials that show how label changes affect key health biomarkers like weight, cholesterol, and blood pressure to guide evidence-based updates. Nutrition labeling isn't a replacement for doctors, but it's one of the most on-demand and easy and most accessible ways that we can improve public health at large. Thank you. Here are the sources that I used in my presentation. And finally, I would like to highlight the HLWF Alliance, a nonprofit that I support. They're doing great work at the intersection of health, life sciences, wellness, and fitness. Please consider donating to the cause. The QR code is right there.
That was a really nice presentation, Ryan. Thank you so much. We're going to be now switching to one of our recorded presentations, which will be Shruti Vinod Kumar. We're going to have Riya come up to introduce and say her bio.
Shruti is a rising junior at North Creek High School, whose goal is to pursue a career in medicine by becoming a neurologist. She's a member of the clubs HOSA, FBLA, Red Cross, and the NHS, and she recently achieved the Gold Presidential Award. She also founded her own Science Olympiad chapter and has been a state qualifier for multiple clubs. She's volunteered at the Vin Hill Animal Clinic, allowing her to understand diagnosis and patient care, and she's volunteered as a teacher at the Nirdyala School of Dance and has recently completed her Arangam or dance graduation. She's also part of the music team and has collaborated with other extracurricular activities, which include being a dancer, a singer, and a piano player. Her talented team and her have placed second in the national competition, which was Let's Dance America under the television network Flowers TV. Her most recent singing competition has allowed her to place third in the National Association of Teachers of Singing. Her hobbies include reading, playing piano, and listening to music. Being a co-founder of the Fitness Initiative allows her to express her deep passion for fitness, driving her to inspire and empower others to reach their goals. With a genuine commitment to promoting healthy lifestyles, she's confident her enthusiasm and expertise will contribute significantly to the initiative's success.
The average person spends about 2 hours and 31 minutes on social media every day. Now, here's a question for you. What percentage of people do you think compare themselves to others while scrolling? 20%, 50%, maybe 70%? The actual number is a staggering 88. Almost everyone feels the weight of comparison while scrolling, and this isn't just about what we wear or how we look. It affects what we eat, how we think about food, and even our mental health. Today, we'll explore the role social media plays in shaping our eating habits, body image, and how we can make it a healthier space for everyone. Social media is everywhere, whether it's Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. These platforms influence how we think, feel, and act, often without us even realizing. When it comes to food, social media doesn't just show us what to eat, it changes how we eat. It promotes trends, challenges, and even diets that can deeply impact our habits for better or worse. Before we dive in, let's define two important truths. Eating habits are the patterns in what, when, and why we eat, while diet culture is a societal obsession with weight loss, thinness, and appearance over actual health. Today, I would like to explore 4 ways social media has an impact. Meals shared through social networks, diet fads and restrictive eating, advertising, marketing, and influencing, and finally, positive eating movements. So let's dive in. A study by the University of Birmingham found that social media influences how much and what we eat. It turns out that seeing posts of others eating unhealthy food can lead us to eat more of the same. However, the opposite is also true. Positive social norms, like meal sharing posts that promote fruits and vegetables, can encourage healthier habits. The lesson here, social media doesn't just reflect our eating habits, it actively shapes them. Now let's talk about the ideal body standard. Social media often pushes a narrow idea of beauty, thinness, abs, and quick transformations, fueling disordered eating habits as people chase impossible standards. Additionally, this causes mental health struggles like anxiety and low self-esteem, and the false idea that body shape and size equal health, which is simply untrue. Diet challenges and restrictive eating trends often promise fast results but fail to address health holistically. This creates a cycle of unhealthy habits, both mentally and physically. But who pushes these trends? Companies and influencers. Marketing tactics use fear, FOMO, fear of missing out, and false promises to sell products like detox teas or weight loss plans. They claim these work for everyone, when we know that's not true. Influencers, who are often paid to promote these products, play a huge role. They shape opinions, but the question is, are they trustworthy? Many prioritize profit over truth, misleading their audiences in the process. There are so many things that influence influencers, and here's a list. Now, influencers increase their reach through advertising and marketing, word of mouth, and through their followers and fans, maybe even you. Can you trust them? And finally, there are still movements working to counter this. Intuitive eating encourages listening to your body's hunger cues, improving mental health and reducing disordered eating behaviors. Additionally, organizations exist, including Health at Every Size, or HAES, which focuses on overall wellness, promoting physical activity and mental health regardless of body size. These approaches remind us that health isn't about how we look, it's about how we feel and function. Social media has incredible power. It can harm us, but it can also help us. By promoting diverse body types, healthy eating habits, and holistic wellness, we can turn social media into a place of learning and acceptance. Together, we can create a safer, healthier digital space, one where we can celebrate ourselves and each other just as we are. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shruti, for your insightful presentation. And now we'll be moving on to our Quizmaster session. And it's going to be a pop quiz session with around 15 questions. Which one of you guys is so they're going to do something.
Wasia is an incoming 8th grader at Greenwood Middle School. She is interested in the field of neurology and her goal is to become a neurosurgeon. She has been interested in the medical field because she has a passion for helping others and making a positive impact on others' lives. She has served as an ASB member this school year and will be part of her school's web team for the upcoming school year. She is also the biology person in her school's National Science Bowl. This year, she placed second at the North-South Foundation Senior Science Meet. Additionally, she has been learning Kuchipudi for the past 8 years and has recently completed her Sampada Kuchipudi dance certification. In music, she plays the violin and is a member of her school's Advanced Honors Orchestra. She has participated in the Washington State Science and Engineering Fair, earning first place in 2024 and 2025. Her project involved creating a random forest model that predicts whether a patient will experience thyroid cancer recurrence by pre-processing thyroid cancer risk factor data, achieving an accuracy rate of 90% to 100%. using only the top 3 factors in determining recurrence. Her project has also been accepted to Thermo Fisher GIC this year. She is excited to continue exploring her interests in STEM, art, and leadership as her work toward her goal of becoming a neurosurgeon. She's excited to be part of the Seattle Nutrition Education Initiative.
Okay, so this is our first quiz session. Question 1. How does eating more plant-based foods help the environment?
It reduces carbon emissions.
Yeah, that works. That's an acceptable answer. Second question. What is the difference between simple and complex carbohydrates?
Simple carbohydrates are usually monosaccharides, and complex carbohydrates like glucose are polysaccharides that consist of multiple elements bonded together.
That's good. Next question. Why is it important to eat a variety of foods from all food groups?
To get all the essential nutrients required in the
Yeah. Question 4. What are the 6 essential nutrients and what are their main functions?
Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus, and they build up like life and the environment and the atmosphere and all that stuff. Oh, okay. Well, you meant. Yeah.
Can you hold on the answers so that we can read them?
Did I just show the answer for the next one?
Question 5.
No, we're good.
Okay. Question 6. Why is fiber important for digestion and overall health?
Because it facilitates the movement of the bowel.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Which macronutrient provides the most calories per gram?
Carbohydrates?
Fat.
Yeah.
Question 8. Name 2 minerals important for bone health and provides a good food source for each. Yeah.
Water and
Calcium?
Yeah.
I don't know the other one.
calcium and water.
Okay.
Vitamin D?
Right. She said vitamin D.
Yeah. Yeah. Next question. What is the primary function of the small intestine in digestion?
Is it the absorption of the nutrients?
Yeah.
in small intestine?
Question 10. What can happen if you regularly skip meals?
You won't gain proper nutrients.
Yeah. Question 11. What is the role of fiber in a balanced diet?
It circulates protein and carbohydrate.
Yeah, that's
That's right.
question 12. What is the difference between whole grains and refined grains?
Whole grains is sorry about it. Whole grains are complex carbohydrates, refined they are simple carbohydrates.
Yeah. Question 13. What does it mean when a food is nutrient dense?
It has lots of nutrients.
Yeah. Question 14. What is the difference between natural and added sugars? Yeah.
Added sugars are kind of fake sugars, and natural sugars came from like the environment. Like
I think this is the last question. What happens if you don't get enough fiber in your diet?
You get constipation and rising more sugar in
Yeah.
the body.
Okay, that was a really fun quiz session, and everyone did amazing with answering the questions. And now we're gonna get started with our second session of practical presentations, and we're gonna have Lasya present.
My presentation is going to be about the future of food security, sustainable nutrition, and a changing world. Feeding the future. Food security is very crucial in our society because it ensures that all people have access to adequate food all around the world. This is directly influencing individuals' well-being, health, and economy stability. Health. This is very fundamental for your health because it helps both your physical and mental health. Access to sufficient nutritious food helps support healthy development, and it prevents malnutrition and any type of diet-related diseases. This also helps your social well-being because food security promotes a more cohesive and resilient society. Food insecurity can lead to you avoiding any type of social situations. There are many challenges to food security, but today I'll be talking about the two main ones. The first one is hunger and malnutrition. These are persistent global issues. Millions of people are facing food insecurity and its devastating consequences. Hunger is not having enough food or calories to meet the right nutrients, and malnutrition is not getting the right kind of nutrients even if you get the right amount of calories. Another problem we've been having recently is inequality in access to food. And this is serious because while some people have enough food to eat, other people may not have enough, and this leads to waste. The causes are because of poverty and environmental challenges, and the effects is that it leads to serious global issues, which leads to malnutrition, hunger, and any type of diet-related diseases. This is an infographic from Our World in Data showing the percentage of the global population facing hunger over time. In 2023, around 1 in 11 people were undernourished. This is about 9.1% of our world. Our role as sustainable agriculture is that growing food in a way that protects the environment, uses natural resources wisely like water and soil, and is healthy for animals and people, and can continue for a long time without causing harm. This is very important for future generations so they won't go hungry.
This matters for food security because as the population grows, we need more food. Now I'll be talking about the methods we could use to farm in the smart way. The first method we can use is organic farming. Organic farming avoids the uses of synthetic pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers, and instead it relies on healthy methods to grow the crops. Organic farms tend to produce more healthy and nutrient-rich crops. Studies show that organic crops may contain higher levels of certain nutrients such as antioxidants. Another method we could use is regenerative agriculture. This goes beyond sustainability and makes sure that our land is focusing on sustainability and it's healing and restoring our land, not just maintaining it. Regenerative agriculture reduces the risk of crop failures, which overall helps our future generations, so it helps grow more food for everyone around the earth. And these are some actions we can make to lead to a sustainable future. The first action we can make is to shop smart and eat responsibly. This matters because these choices support our sustainable agriculture and it helps create a food system that protects both the people and the planet. The second way we can do it is consume more plant-based foods. Choosing plant foods that require less water and less energy to grow is very important because it uses less land, water, and labor work. And this is my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Alexia, for your presentation. And now we're going to switch to one of the recorded presentations. We will now get started with Shreya Himani's recorded presentation.
problems because of people in the countryside. Eating less fruit and more sugary fatty processed foods can lead to serious health problems like type 2 diabetes, heart problems, and sometimes cancer. The impact on vitamins in daily life. Even though it makes sense study, people live spend more time indoors or under sunscreen. This means up to 75% of people in some areas might not get enough vitamins and sunshine, which is important for strong bones and healthy immune system. Because daily diets often rely more on processed and packages, which can be lower in healthy vitamins and minerals, many people do experience daily hunger. They eat enough calories but are still missing key nutrients like iron, zinc, or vitamins. This can affect their energy, focus, and overall health. Good distribution. Since some people get too much obesity, while others get less. Since 1990, the number of adults who are overweight or obese has doubled worldwide. In some parts of the world, like Africa, the number of overweight children underpopulated has gone up by over 12% since 2000. About 1.7 billion people in urban areas don't have enough food or food quality. More than 75% of all people don't have food. Actually, living with people in need. Who struggles the most? About 1.1 billion people worldwide live with slums, often without good access to healthy food. In the U.S., almost 19 million live in areas and states where it's hard to find fresh, healthy food. In some urban slum areas, over 80% of families might not have enough food. Families with less money are not able to get enough food. And also people who struggle at school for food options for lunch. Newcomers to the city are also in the struggle with finding healthy food as they don't really go to the city as well as before. Climate and the effect on cities. Cities can get much hotter than suburban areas because of the concrete and buildings. Cities can be 2 to 8 degrees Fahrenheit hotter than the surrounding countryside. During evenings, these streets extra heat can make people sick and affect their health. Climate change leads to more extreme weather events like floods, droughts, and big storms. This can also damage crops and farms, making food harder to grow. This also means less healthy food for people in the city. Climate change is expected to increase the number of people not having enough to eat by 2030. City rules and plans for them to better. City leaders and government can make rules and plans to help everyone eat better. There should be more healthy food stores and parks to have multiple. And even less junk food ads and more of a variety, like maybe there's a house ad or there's healthy food ad. Making healthy foods cheaper and unhealthy foods more expensive, making the taxes so people don't really have that urge to get healthy food. Neighborhood solutions. People in communities can help get healthier food to everyone. Eating more community gardens can help as well with vegetables and fruits. Farmers markets being more local. So if you don't want to have a community garden, or people can go to farmers markets instead. Vegetables and options for cooking classes. If people don't know how to cook this healthy food, they can go to cooking class. And available food from food banks. For people with less money, they can go to their food bank and get more food that's healthy as well. Technology helping out. Technology can be used to improve how people eat in cities. Phone apps can track what you eat and how much you eat. And apps with maps can show you where healthy food is available. Healthy options with online food delivery as well. Most likely, food delivery has unhealthy food, or like DoorDash, for example. Sometimes they don't have healthy food that people can choose from their kids. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Shreya. And now we'll be introducing Riya to come and present.
Okay, so just beforehand, I just want to apologize. It might be a little tricky to see because it's in black and white and it's very small. But I hope. I hope you enjoy this. So as you probably heard before, my name is Riya Gupta, and just to give you some context, I was interested in looking at how a seemingly simple nutrient like vitamin D, which is often overlooked, could have deeper effects on skin health, especially for people dealing with chronic conditions like psoriasis. Now, what is psoriasis? I don't want to be just throwing big words at you. Well, take a look at your own fingernails. Have you ever noticed white splotches on there? That may be a sign of a very mild condition of psoriasis, which can be a byproduct of a calcium deficiency. And we get calcium from vitamin D. So this whole presentation kind of revolves around a small study I did regarding young individuals and the link between vitamin D and psoriasis. So here's a quick overview about what I'll be covering today. I'll be covering a brief introduction and background on vitamin D and psoriasis, how I gathered and analyzed my own data, my key findings and what they might suggest, areas for improvement, and finally, my conclusions and questions for future research. So to start off, as I said before, psoriasis is a chronic inflammatory skin condition that causes thick, scaly patches on the skin and sometimes even affects the nails. Research has shown that vitamin D can help reduce these symptoms by regulating how skin cells grow and develop. A deficiency in vitamin D can lead to problems like calcium imbalance, which might show up as white patches on the nails or skin. This connection is something I wanted to explore further in my own community. So, several risk factors can make people more likely to experience vitamin D deficiency and possibly psoriasis symptoms. For one, people with darker skin tones tend to produce less vitamin D from sunlight due to higher melanin levels. Low sun exposure in general also decreases natural vitamin D production, and both younger and older individuals may have weaker bones and absorb calcium less efficiently. Finally, people who are lactose intolerant or don't consume dairy regularly may also be at risk due to lower calcium intake. So vitamin D plays a key role in our bodies by preventing the overproduction of keratinocytes, which are the cells that form your skin, hair, and nails. When they grow too quickly, it can lead to skin lesions. And vitamin D also helps normalize integrin distribution, which is important for healthy skin structure. So my main goal here was to explore how vitamin D can help reduce psoriasis symptoms and support overall skin health. So to do this, I created a cross-sectional survey and I shared it with middle and high school students in my community. I ended up collecting 152 responses. And the survey asked about things like multivitamin use, dairy intake, and whether people had noticed any changes in their skin or nails over the years. I did my best to clean the data by removing incomplete or obviously fake responses. And one interesting finding was that people under the age of 16 were much more likely to take vitamin D supplements, possibly to support bone development or even mood and hormonal balance. And as people get older, their bones tend to be stronger, so supplement use dropped off in older respondents. I also looked at whether people who took multivitamins noticed fewer issues with their skin or nails. What I found was that respondents who didn't take supplements were much more likely to report nail discoloration or irregularities in their skin. And this might suggest that vitamin D does in fact play a role in reducing those symptoms. Another factor I looked at was lactose intolerance. You can see here that on one of the graphs, about 19% of respondents reported being lactose intolerant, and a large portion of them were from East or Southeast Asian backgrounds, where lactose intolerance is a more common trend. And this could mean that many of them were also consuming less calcium, which might further impact skin health. Some existing treatments for psoriasis that use vitamin D include calcipotriol, maxicalcital, and tacalcital. These treatments have shown success in reducing lesion thickness and even helping with nail psoriasis. However, they've also been associated with side effects like mild skin irritation, and in some cases, they were discontinued by patients. So while vitamin D shows promise as a treatment, it's not without risks. One of the main concerns is hypercalcemia, where too much calcium builds up in the blood. That's why oral vitamin D treatments are often taken at night when sunlight exposure is lower. It's a reminder that even natural treatments need to be used with care. There are definitely areas where the study that I conducted could be improved. For one, I would aim to increase sample diversity. That means age, background, and health history to get more accurate and generalizable results. And of course, there are still holes as in any data set. Even after removing any troll-like answers, some blanks and inconsistencies did remain. And last, I would expand the survey to include adults and people formally diagnosed with psoriasis for more reliable insights. These steps would help create a stronger, more valid data set, and they would help lead to better conclusions. So to sum it up, vitamin D therapy has shown real potential in reducing psoriatic symptoms by regulating skin cell growth and calcium imbalance. At the same time, treatments need to be monitored carefully to avoid side effects like hypercalcemia. And this project helped me understand just how much overlap there is between nutrition, dermatology, and public health. So before I wrap up, I'd like to leave you with a couple of questions. First of all, what else could vitamin D help us treat? And what long-term health issues might arise if we continue to overlook calcium and vitamin D in our diets? Thanks so much for listening.
Okay, thank you so much, Ria, for your presentation. And now we'll be moving on to our second session of pop quiz, and we will be welcoming Devarsh up to the stage, and Ria will be introducing Devarsh. Are you guys ready for the next session?
Okay, so Devarsh is the rising sophomore at Eastlake High School in Washington State. He's deeply passionate about neuroscience, especially with understanding neurodegenerative diseases like ALS. Right now, he's studying molecular mechanisms behind ALS with a focus on stopping TDP43, a protein in its aggregation. He's also part of MIR Core, a nonprofit organization that works towards advancing personalized medicine and scientific research. After being accepted into their volunteer program, he had the opportunity to work on a team research project focused on ALS, thereby gaining a ton of research experience. And apart from that, he also learned about and helped promote public engagement with science and medicine. And outside of academics, he loves karting and competing in local teen leagues. He also practices taekwondo, plays the piano, and competes in public forum debate, as well as HOSA.
So this is our second quiz session. It's going to be a mix of multiple choice and short answer questions. So the first question is, what are 2 benefits of including whole grains in your meals? Yeah, that works. And another reason?
Low blood sugar.
Okay, that works. That's fine. Sorry. Next question. Why do teens often need more nutrients than younger children?
They're at a point in their lives where their bodies are growing rapidly, and therefore they need more, more supplements.
What role does calcium play in the body?
Better bone health.
Yeah. What type of carbohydrate breaks down slowly and gives steady energy? A, complex carbohydrates, B, refined sugars, C, monosaccharides, and D, added sugars.
Complex carbohydrates.
Yep. Which of the following is a good source of healthy fat? C? Yeah, that's correct. Which of the following is a reliable source of probiotics?
Yogurt?
Yeah. Which of these nutrients helps repair body tissues like muscles?
Protein.
Yeah. Which vitamin helps regulate calcium and phosphorus in the body? Yeah. Which vitamin is important for keeping your immune system strong?
Vitamin C?
Vitamin C, yes. Sorry. Which of the following best describes a nutrient-dense food? C? Yeah. Which of the following labels suggest that a food contains added vitamins or minerals that were not originally present? It is C. Good job. Sorry. Which nutrient provides quick energy for the body? Sorry. Which of the following is not a macronutrient? Yeah. What are two things you can learn from reading a food label? Who said that? Oh, what did you say again? Ingredients, yeah. One more thing. Yeah, that works. Yeah. This is the last one. Why should people limit how much salt or sodium they eat? Yeah.
So this is hydrated.
Yep. That's it for this session.
That was a really fun quiz session. I hope you all had fun answering questions and receiving some treats. Now we're going to get started with our next set of presentations. I'm going to have Christina come up on stage to introduce Sneha, who will be giving our next slide presentation.
Sneha is a rising senior in Skyview Middle School. Her favorite school subjects are math and science. Outside of school, Sneha does robotics and has been a part of WEX robotics team for the last 3 years. Sneha did a pen-based science project with WSSDF this past academic year. That got her more excited into learning more about science. Having a sugar tooth herself, Sneha wants to change her eating lifestyle and have a more balanced diet. This got her more curious about eating a well-balanced diet. Sneha is here to talk about what she has learned about balanced diet and how it affects us. The correlation between food versus mood is what Sneha will dive into.
Hi everyone, my name is Sneha, and today I'm going to be talking about how your diet affects your productivity and your well-being. First, I want to ask you guys something. How many of you guys had a cup of coffee or tea in the morning? I know that when my mom wakes up, the first thing that she does is grab a cup of coffee. She tells me it energizes her for the day. And it's not just her. According to the National Coffee Association, 81% of American adults have a cup of coffee in the morning. But why is having coffee so bad? Let's look into it. An 8-ounce cup of coffee from Starbucks contains about 155 milligrams of caffeine. On average, an American adult has about 400 milligrams of caffeine every day. Let's look into the benefits and the downsides of having caffeine. Some of the benefits are mental alertness and focus by increasing your dopamine and increasing your physical performance by stimulating adrenaline. Some of the downsides are loss of sleep and risks of heart disease and stroke. Last but not least, one of the major downsides of having caffeine is it doesn't have the key nutrients or amino acids that you need for your body. And that's just coffee, but what about all the fast food and all the sugary snacks? Let's look at the big picture, starting with the key nutrients and amino acids your body needs. The first one is omega-3 fatty acids. And although it's a very interesting name, it actually is really important for your brain health and supporting your memory. Some of the rich foods that contain omega-3 fatty acids are beans, salmon, and spinach. Next, vitamin B9. Vitamin B9 is really important for your mood regulation and your mental clarity. It's commonly found in avocados, nuts, and seeds. Next, vitamin C. Most people know vitamin C for fighting off illnesses, but vitamin C is also really useful for reducing stress. So on important test days or work meetings, sometimes it can be very crucial to have vitamin C. Vitamin C is found in green leafy vegetables and fruits like strawberries. Okay. The last vitamin I'm going to talk about is vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 supports your nervous system, which is the signals that go from your brain to your body. Vitamin B12 can be found in dairy like milk and cheese, as well as bread. Now I'm going to talk about protein. When people think about having diets, protein is one of the main things that they think about. Protein is really important for building and repairing your tissues, muscles, and cells, as well as keeping your energy stable. Protein is found in a lot of red meat and dairy. Next, iron. Personally, I think iron has one of the most important jobs because it carries oxygen to your body. Iron is found in red meat, spinach, grains, and other leafy greens. Lastly, water. Obviously, water is really important for hydrating yourself and keeping you safe from headaches. And for those who don't have good quality water, other hydrating foods can also include watermelon, and celery. On average, kids should have 6 to 8 cups of water every single day. So now I'm going to touch really quickly on amino acids. There are 9 main amino acids, and these are the building blocks of protein. Amino acids are really important. Like I said before, for protein, they're really important for your muscles and cells. So now that you know about these key nutrients and amino acids, think about what you had for lunch yesterday. Did it have any protein, any veggies, or was it just fries and chips? Most likely, unless you planned it, it missed some of those key nutrients that you need. But why exactly and how exactly does this food help your productivity and well-being? Well, according to a study done by the University of Warwick in 2025, it said that people who had nutrient-dense food actually lower their emotional exhaustion and increase their resilience. Another study done in 2019 by the BMC Public Health,
It said that people who had nutritious breaks during the work had much better productivity levels and much better performance. So now that you know all of this, let's try and focus on having more nutritious foods instead of just having coffee and sugary snacks. And on touch basing on coffee, instead of having coffee in the morning, maybe try having more fruits or maybe more whole grain things like toast. And thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sneha, for your presentation. Now we're going to switch to our next video presentation, which will be from Summer. And we're going to have Ria come up and introduce.
Samarth is a senior at Interlake High School in Bellevue, Washington. He's still figuring out his passions, but he's interested in the fields of aerospace, psychology, hardware, and history. He's a black belt certified taekwondo instructor, and he's won medals in both national and international matches. He's also a Carnatic vocalist, and he has sung in several concerts in India and the US. He created Project Drishti, which is an online initiative under IMID, a UN-certified organization, to raise awareness on short-sightedness and its impacts on children upbringing. He enjoys PC building, gaming, and music production, and he also likes playing badminton, volleyball, and soccer.
Hi guys, my name is Samarth Mandel. I am a 12th grader in Interlake High School, and I will be talking about the ethics of our food choices. All of us eat on a day-to-day basis, but the choices we make about it affect several things outside our plates. We tend to think of food as something personal, just a matter of taste, family, habit, or tradition, but food choices affect more than just us. Diet-related diseases are rising around the world, especially in areas flooded with processed food and sugary drinks. These lead to preventable conditions like obesity and diabetes. This graph from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development shows the rise in the percentage of overweight individuals in their populations. There are more consequences. We see higher healthcare costs, reduced workplace productivity, and increasing pressure on public health systems. So while food starts in the individual level, its effects ripple outward into society. Here's an argument for why food is not personal. Take the United States as an example. Over 40% of American adults are obese. Diet-related illnesses cost the country over $4 trillion annually, according to the CDC. In low-income communities, fast food and ultra-processed snacks are everywhere, while healthy food is harder to access. That's not really a free choice, it's a systemic issue. And it doesn't stop there. Our diets also impact the planet. Processed foods have a massive carbon footprint, and meat-heavy diets contribute to deforestation, methane emissions, and excessive water use. Even culturally significant diets can cause problems. Indian immigrants in the US have higher rates of type 2 diabetes and heart disease than many other ethnic groups, despite often being non-smokers and of normal BMI. This is partly due to genetic predisposition, but also dietary habits brought from home, like high-carb meals, ghee, sweets, and less physical activity. So no, food isn't just personal, it's political, economic, and ecological. At the same time, food is deeply personal. It's a part of who we are. Our culture, religion, family traditions, and lifestyle are affected in what we eat. As I mentioned in the last slide, in many South Indian households, offering rich, ghee-filled meals is a sign of love and care, and eating more is a symbol of acknowledgement and strength, especially for children. So when the government tries to regulate food, can feel like an attack on identity. People start to see it as an overreach, a nanny state telling them how to live. Science evolves. What counts as healthy can vary not just across time, but also cultures. A meal rich in ghee and rice may be seen as nourishing in one context and unhealthy in another. That means government policies can feel shaky or just unjustified. This brings us to the central ethical dilemma. How do we balance individual liberty with collective responsibility? Should the government have the power to regulate what we eat through taxes, bans, or advertising laws if the goal is to protect public health? Or should individuals be trusted to make their own decisions, even if those choices are harmful to themselves or to the system? And if awareness isn't enough to change behavior, is it ethical to use tools like taxes or bans that some people see as coercion? We've seen many answers to those questions across the world. Mexico implemented a sugar tax and saw soda consumption drop significantly, especially among low-income consumers. New York City attempted to ban large sugary drinks in 2012, but the policy was overturned after public outcry and a legal challenge. Denmark introduced a fat tax that was so unpopular it was repealed within a year. And India tried to introduce front-of-pack labeling on foods high in salt, sugar, and fat, but powerful industry lobbying has delayed it. All of these show that even well-meaning food policies can run into resistance if they don't consider social, economic, and cultural context. The truth is, neither extreme works. Absolute food freedom can lead to serious public consequences, while excessive control can alienate and marginalize people. The answer lies in balance, educating the public, not just lecturing them, using nudges instead of bans, like clearer food labeling, portion control, and better grocery layouts. Supporting culturally sensitive solutions that work within a society's values, not against them. Ultimately, ethical food policy should aim for cooperation, not control. It should empower people, not just regulate them. Here are the sources that I used for this presentation. Thank you for listening and happy eating.
Thank you so much, Samarth, for your presentation. And now we'll be going on to our guest speaker segment. And we have a keynote speaker who's joining us from Alabama right now. And we're going to applaud and have him join us. Yes, you are. Hi, we have connected through the projector screen, so everyone can see it. You can get started. Before you get started, we will introduce you to everyone, and then you can present. So this is my book, and we're gonna have our bio readers come up and introduce our guest speaker for today.
Vaibhav is a master's student in the Department of Crop, Soil, and Environmental Sciences at Auburn University. He did his undergrad from Mahatma Phule Agricultural University, India. Currently, he is working with crop nutrient management by utilizing the cutting-edge technology like machine learning, deep learning drones, and crop simulation models. He is trying to solve the nitrogen loss problem in agricultural land and its impact on the environment. He is dedicated to developing data-driven solutions for sustainable farming. He was a winner of the Russian Olympiad in soil science. He was a university gold medalist in plant protection group. He has 2 design patents on his name and numerous publications.
You can start.
I'm getting your echo, I think. Okay, I'm ready. I can start now. So I'm presenting my screen now. I think you need to allow me to share the screen. Yes. Perfect. So my screen is visible to you, all right? Okay, perfect. So, hey everyone, I hope Doshi introduced about myself. I'm Webu. I did my undergrad in India from Mahatma Phule Agricultural University, and from then I came to the US to pursue my master's here. So she contacted me yesterday and for a keynote speaker, and it was a very short notice for me to prepare on to talk to you guys. So today I'm gonna talk about the future of farming with you all guys. As we know, like farming is one of the profession that feeds the world. So I'm just being a farming professional, agriculture professional. I thought let's talk about the future of farming in the changing era of climate and a lot of challenge from the economic and other perspectives to the farmers. So yes, being born and raised on a farm, I was always excited about farming, the different activities that going on the farm. So in very early age, I get involved into the farming, and I was excited to learn more about the farming practices. So after my high school, I chose agriculture as my profession. So I pursued my undergrad, and there I found that I was really interested in pursuing my higher education in precision agriculture, where we combine the two disciplines of data science, computer engineering with agriculture. So now here in Auburn University, I'm working with a precision agriculture to decision support to the farmers. So everyone thinks like, what will be the future of farming? As a younger generation, I saw many of the people says like, the kids says like, or the parents of the kids says like, our kid want to be a doctor or want to be an engineer, but no one says like their kid want to be a. Am I audible to you? Yes. Okay. No one says like their kid want to be an agriculture professional or like a farmer, right? So as a doctor or engineer or whatever your profession, at the end of the day, you need to eat or eat food to survive, right? And where the food is coming from? The farm. So and who is the growing the food? Farmer. So farming is definitely a profession of both. It's very important. So you can't eat the robots and the building materials, anything, right? So as the population is growing, there is a need of more farmers and more farmland to get cultivated. But what's the scene in the United States or the world? Like people don't want to continue the farming. They just want to go with the tech part and earn a lot of money. But you, at the end of the day, you can't eat money. So that future of farming seems to be in danger by looking towards the current scenario. But the recent advances in the farming are making the farming pretty promising with the use of different technology. Like if you consider using nowadays, farmers are using drone for the various operations like spraying pesticides on the farm to control the pests and diseases, and also seeding the different crops or applying fertilizers on the farm. So here at Auburn University, I'm involved in the activities with the research related to the application of these drones in spraying to different crops. Also, the next technology is using the aircrafts for the spraying and seeding operations on the big commercial farms. Suppose if you're a farmer with 10,000 acres of land and you won't get that manpower nowadays due to the labor shortage and increasing the prices of the input cost in the farming. So if you want to maximize the profit, you need to cut down the cost of cultivation. For that, the farmers are utilizing the different aircrafts for the spraying and seeding and fertilizer application works in the farming. So this is kind of different activities that I used to be involved on the farm, on the commercial farms, like the spraying with the aircraft, calibration of the spray equipment, and checking their efficacy on the farm. I'm sorry. So yeah, and the next tool that nowadays a lot of researchers working on is the use of AI and machine learning and deep learning approaches in the farming to solve different problems in the farming. This is a really a blooming field and it's a promising field, I would say. Like many of the researchers are developing a lot of valuable and useful tools in the farming. Suppose, let's take an example. If you have a nursery and you have millions of plants growing in the nursery, but you can't go directly and manually count the plants or like scout the plants to detect for the disease or any pest incidents. But with the help of the drones and hyperspectral imagery or this kind of machine learning tools, you can go ahead and develop models, machine learning models or deep learning models to automatically detect the pest and diseases attack or count the number of plants into the nurseries. So suppose like if anyone is interested in data science, but we have to work towards the agriculture as well. Like they can combine and do interdisciplinary research to develop such kind of models and work for agriculture to improve the resource use efficiency and improve the productivity of the farmer and the economic returns. So the next aspect is on the big commercial farms, there are this kind of big combined harvesters which are integrated with a lot of technology like GPS, automated harvesting, yield map monitoring, and a lot of other technology in it. And you can see this combined harvesters and sprayers are coupled with GPS. They can spot apply the pesticides where there is a more incidence of a pest or diseases. So that's how we can optimize our resources and improve the productivity and cut down the cost. So the next thing is like when I was discussing with the different farmers what the future of farming looks like, the farmers, almost most of the farmers are like in their 60s or 70s, and they were talking to me like none of the young generation wants to get involved in agriculture, and that's a serious concern nowadays in the United States. And most of the cultivated land is getting barren now because there is no labor or no experts want to get involved in the farming. And another challenge with the farming is like in 1960s or 1970s, whatever the prices of the products like corn or wheat or soybean or other fruit crops was there in the market. Nowadays, still the prices of that produce is the same in the market, but if you consider about the input cost that is required, it's increasing day by day. So farmers are not getting that much of benefit out of it. The economic returns are very less, so they are getting bankrupted and they are quitting the farming business. And if the farmers will not grow the crops and make the farming produce, how this growing population will sustain. So I think there is a lot of room to do research or to build a career in agriculture sector. So as a young generation, I would definitely call you guys to come here in agriculture and do the research or come in the business side. There's a lot of potential, and I think coming next 10 years will be a really, really challenging for agriculture with the climate change and this economic crisis on the farmers. So last but not least, I would say the earth is not a legacy from our ancestors, but a loan from our children's, and we have to come together to conserve it, because if we will not conserve the farming resources now, I don't know how the future generations will sustain. And I think, that's all I prepared for today for you guys. And if you have any questions here, you can see my email address and my LinkedIn. Yeah, thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'm open for questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions that you'd like to ask Viola? No? You can just ask.
The climate change where we are telling, right, that how is it affecting like other countries than India? Is it going to be like some countries, is there any exceptional going like forward fast? Did you hear? Sorry, the climate change.
Can anyone repeat the question? Yeah,
Okay,
because I
yeah.
didn't get that.
Okay. The climate change going to affect the farming.
Right.
Is it which is affecting more the country wise? Are they prepared for it, like US compared to India?
Okay, you want? Are you asking like the preparation of the countries comparing US and India?
For the climate change affected, going to affect the farming. Yeah.
Okay. The thing is like the people use the climate change. That seems to be a really fancy word, but if I particularly look into the climate change, what does climate change means? What was happening was, if you see in the past decade, the rainfall distribution is not good. Like whatever the rainfall distribution was there initial time in the 90s or 80s, we are not getting that much amount of rainfall, or it's very uncertain. And if you see the preparation of the countries for this kind of drought, rainfall problems, and the uncertain cyclones, and they are like making loss to the farmers, yes, the countries are prepared. In India, there is Indian Council of Agriculture Research. They are having a lot of research institutes. Like if each and every crop is having a separate research institute, and they are preparing, like they're developing new climate resilient varieties, like the drought resistance varieties of the different crops, and launch on the farms, so that farmers, even if they plant that variety, they will not suffer from drought, and they will still get the good returns out of that. And if you see in case of the United States, here we are working with the multiple aspects of crop breeding and soil sciences hub. So we are majorly targeting how we can keep the soil moist, and that will be beneficial for the crops to grow. So I think the world and other, like along with the US and other countries and the researchers throughout the world, they are really aware about the climate change, and everyone is preparing for the same.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any more questions?
Hi, Vaibhav. I had one question. So, what would be one or two simple things that you can suggest this younger generation so that they get to know more about agriculture, the challenges faced, something that they can keep in mind and carry on forward?
Okay. The thing is like basically most of the times kids, whatever the kids used to do, they used to see their younger generation what they are doing, and they think in the same manner because they try to so they try to see the elder generation and move forward in the same way. So the thing happening nowadays, when I was in India and when I was also here in the United States, I observed that the parents, as I already told, like parents want their kids to be doctors and engineers and earn millions or billions of money from that profession. So everyone is working for money, and no one is thinking about the food that we are eating now. And even like people are talking about the organic farming and that kind of stuff. But if you see the population growth, the rate at which the population is growing, I think we need to produce like 10 times more food in the coming decade. And if you see by 2050, the rate is gonna increase by 10, 20, 30 folds. So I will definitely ask the younger generation to get involved in the farming. That profession will be a really blooming profession in the coming decade or a couple of decades, because you can integrate the technology that is available right now with the farming and make the farming efficient and cut down the labor costs or the input cost that farmers are putting in. Because many of the times the thing happening is like farming is very complicated and uncertain because of the different parameters affecting it. Even if a crop is doing good in the field, we can't say like it will sell at the good cost in the market because of the economic instability in the market nowadays. So I will definitely ask kids to, even if they are having interest in different disciplines, like even in engineering, whatever the discipline is, they can couple their discipline with agriculture and do their further work. That will be demand for sure.
I think there's no more questions left. And this is Joshi speaking, Michael. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming in last minute with last minute notice and preparing a wonderful presentation for all of us here today. We all really appreciate it. And coming from a farmer family background, I truly understand the importance of farming. And I strongly agree with you that we need to encourage more farmers in the upcoming generation, even now. It could be simple acts of farming, but we should encourage farming and make sure that we have more farmers in the future. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me, Joshi, here at this platform. And if you have further any questions, you can connect me on LinkedIn, or you have my email address. I will be happy to interact with the kids. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I hope that presentation was inspiring for everyone and gave us a moment to think about where we live right now. And even with the growing numbers, growing careers and doctors, engineers, software engineers, there's always a career which is farming. And that should always be open for everyone. And I think Viva brought it out truly beautifully today. And to continue our conference today, we're going to go on to our third session of pop quiz time. So let's have Lassia back up on stage, and she's going to take it away.
Okay, so this is our third quiz session. Question 1, why should you include healthy fats in your diet?
For the brain development.
Yeah. Question 2. What is the My Plate Guide and what does it teach?
It teaches like what parts of all the food groups you should have in every meal and in what portion size you should have.
Question 3. What happens when you eat too many ultra-processed foods?
Obesity?
Yeah. Question 4. Why is it important to limit saturated fats in your diet?
To reduce cholesterol.
Yeah, that one. sorry. Question 5. What happens if your diet is low in iron?
Maybe immune deficiency.
Question 6. What role does potassium play in your body?
For the cardiovascular health, like for muscle, bone health.
Yeah. Question 7. What does it mean when a food is fortified? Question 8. What are the benefits of eating meals at regular times each day?
You get the nutrients you need, and it helps balance your diet.
Yeah. Question 9. What is one side of a nutrient deficiency? Tiredness. Yeah. Question 10. What are probiotics and why are they good for you?
Probiotics is healthy enzymes that we have in our gut, and it helps for the digestion, for mental health.
Yeah. Question 11. What are complex carbohydrates and how are they different from simple carbohydrates?
They're way more harder to digest, and it could be more unhealthier compared to simple carbs, which digest quicker and store forever.
Question 13. What are the long-term effects of an unhealthy diet?
It can lead to like diabetes and like other.
Question 14. What does eating for sustainability mean?
Eating in ways that avoid harming the environment, like avoiding red meats and staying away from foods that have led to deforestation and all that stuff.
Last question, question 15. What is the role of zinc in the body?
Brain function.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lawson, for the third pop quiz session, and that was really fun. Now we're going to move on to our final set of presentations, and we're going to have Nihar come up on stage, and we're going to have one of the bio readers come and introduce him.
So Nihar is a rising sophomore at Eastland High School, whose favorite subjects are math and science. His hobbies include playing chess, table tennis, and an instrument called the double. He's won 3.5 point award in the Washington Elementary State Chess Championships. And his VEX IQ robotics team won a teamwork championship award at a qualifying tournament that got him and his team into the state championships in the 23-24 school year. He's been learning tabla and has participated in multiple large concerts like the Seattle Northwest Folklife Festival. His team won second place and third place at the state level, signed for Olympiad 2021 to 2022. And as a 2-year member of the Junior Honor Society, he's volunteered in various community events, festivals, and musical concerts. To balance his interest in music and sports with academic performance, he's realized that maintaining good health is essential. This means focusing on healthy eating, like enjoying fruits, vegetables, lentils, and the delicious meals his mom prepares. This focus on health led him to join this initiative, and preparing for this presentation allowed him to explore how Ayurveda, one of the oldest medical sciences in the world, helps all of us lead a healthy lifestyle and share these valuable insights with the community.
Thank you for the introduction. My name is Nihar Foxley. I'm a rising sophomore at Eastlake High School, and today I'm going to be talking about the impact of nutrition science on society. When we think of the future, we often think of flying cars or robots, but one of the most powerful revolutions are happening on our plates in the field of nutrition science. In the next few minutes, I'll be talking about how innovations like personalized nutrition and sustainable nutrition are transforming the way that we eat. Let's start with personalized nutrition. Unhealthy diets have been known to cause diseases such as obesity and diabetes in a population. Currently, we're trying to solve this problem by providing a universal dietary recommendation for all. However, this approach ignores the inter-individual dietary differences in dietary response. This is where personalized nutrition comes in, an approach that tailors nutrition advice to individuals based on their genetics. This is based on the theory that differences in biochemistry, metabolism, genetics, and microbiota are responsible for differences in dietary response. These recommendations are also based on internal and external environment. Next, I'm going to be talking about sustainable nutrition. Sustainable nutrition is all about creating a food system that nourishes people without harming the environment. It meets nutritional needs for health and development, respects environmental boundaries, is economically fair and accessible to all, practical and acceptable in different regions and cultures, and is a shift towards plant-rich diets because livestock produce greenhouse gas emissions that are harmful to the environment. Now, let's talk about the impact on society of these methods. Personalized nutrition helps reduce the widespread diseases that drain healthcare resources and lower quality of life. Sustainable nutrition addresses global challenges such as climate change and food security. By promoting environmentally friendly choices, sustainable nutrition helps conserve natural resources and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It ensures long-term access to nutritious foods. To conclude, the future of nutrition science holds great promise, not just for improving individual health, but for transforming society as a whole. Innovations like personalized nutrition allow us to tailor our diets for our individual needs, while sustainable nutrition guides us to make food choices that protect our planet. As we move forward, embracing these innovations will be essential to creating a future where both the people and the planet can survive. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Nihar, for your presentation. Now we'll be going on to Sai Kunredi's presentation. He was able to make it here today, but he sent his presentation for all of us to see. Okay, before we start, we're going to have Kenya introduce Sai.
Sai is a rising senior at Newport High School, aspiring to become a computer engineer. He has lived in both Canada and the United States, gaining unique perspectives from both countries. In Canada, he received the Youth Neighborhood Award for his active involvement in community activities such as volunteering, organizing, and attending events. Volunteering is a passion he deeply valued. His contribution to diverse initiatives including temples, cultural events, and summer camps, where he found fulfillment in giving back to the community. He is proud of his achievements in technology and innovation. Recently, he won the PDX Hackathon, earned the Seattle NASA Space App's Best Data Use Award, and was recognized as a global finalist, with his team being one of the top 40 out of 10,000 involved in extracurriculars. He played basketball for 3 years and developed a keen interest in physics, exploring how body mechanics and muscle growth work. His top hobbies include playing basketball, weightlifting, watching movies, and volunteering, reflecting his commitment to a balanced lifestyle. His opinion in nutrition is essential because it provides the body with the necessary energy and the nutrients to function properly, supporting overall health and well-being. As an athlete and the co-founder of SNEI Initiative, he feels it is his responsibility to educate others about physical and mental well-being.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me begin with a simple yet powerful question. What does it really mean to be well fed? For many of us, food is always within reach, on store shelves, in our fridges, or at the tap of the phone screen. But for hundreds of millions of people around the world, that's not the case. Each day is a struggle to find enough to eat, let alone food that nourishes the body and mind. Today, I want to talk about the global and local crisis that affects children, families, and entire communities, somewhat we can no longer ignore. Food insecurity, and how we can work together to ensure nutrition for all. Food insecurity is more than just hunger. It means not having regular, reliable access to enough affordable, nutritious food to live a healthy life. It comes in many forms. Sometimes it's obvious, like skipping meals or relying on food banks, but often it's hidden. Many households have food, but not the right kind of food. Instead of fruits, vegetables, or proteins, people turn to cheaper, high-calorie options that leave them full but unnourished. This paradox, hunger and obesity existing side by side, is one of the most alarming effects of food insecurity today. Why does this happen? The causes are widespread and deeply interconnected. Poverty is at the core, but is worsened by conflict, climate change, supply chain distributions, inflation, and systematic inequality. In rural areas, healthy food might be far away. In urban centers, it might be unaffordable. In both, families are forced to maintain food choices, cheap versus healthy, quantity versus quality. The consequences of food insecurities go beyond empty stomachs. Children who don't get enough nutrients struggle to grow, learn, and focus in school. Pregnant women who lack access to proper nutrition are at greater risk of complications. Adults may suffer fatigue, chronic disease, and even mental health challenges like anxiety and depression. Long term, this leads to a cycle of poverty trap, where poor nutrition limits opportunity, productivity, and overall well-being. In fact, according to the World Health Organization, malnutrition is the #1 cause of poor health globally. And it's happening in both developing and developed nations, even in high-income countries like the United States. Millions live in food deserts, neighborhoods without access to affordable, healthy food. But here's the good news. This is a solvable problem. We already produce enough food to feed everybody on the planet. The challenge is how it's distributed, priced, and prioritized. So what can we do? Strengthen local food systems. Supporting local farmers and community gardeners increases access to fresh food and builds economic resilience. Urban farming, rooftop gardens, and school gardens are already helping cities feed themselves. Second, improve food policies and subsidies. Governments must reevaluate agricultural subsidies and invest in programs that make healthy food more affordable. That means supporting not just big commodity crops, but fruits, vegetables, legumes, and proteins. Third, expand school nutrition programs. For many children, a school meal may be their only balanced meal that they eat. Investing in school breakfast and lunch programs ensures kids get the fuel they need to grow and four, tackle food waste. A third of all food produced globally is wasted while millions go hungry. Restaurants, grocery stores, and households can reduce waste and donate safe and used food to those in need. Five, leverage technology and innovation. Mobile markets, food delivery platforms for low-income families, and smart food pantries are just a few ways to bridge gaps in access. And six, rise awareness and build partnerships. Change starts with awareness. Individuals, nonprofits, governments, and corporations must work together to create systems where nutritious food is a right, not a luxury. The three pillars to food security solutions are local systems, policy reform, and community action. Innovative solutions can be smart distribution and waste reduction. In a world of abundance, no one should go hungry. But even more than that, no one should be forced to choose between feeding their children and feeding them well. Nutrition for all is not just a slogan. It's a mission that requires action, compassion, and collaboration. We all have a role to play, whether it's supporting local food drives, voting for policies that promote food justice, volunteering at community kitchens, or simply being mindful of what we buy and what we waste. We can each help close the gap between hunger and health, because food is more than survival. It's opportunity, energy, dignity, and hope. Let's make a world where everyone, everywhere, has access to the food they need, not just to live, but to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sai, for your presentation. And now we'll be going on to our next presentation done by Priya Amani. And Priya is going to be introducing.
Priya is a rising junior at Interlake High School.
Hi, my name is Priya Amani, and today's
Her interest in medicine inspires her to participate in research, science fairs, and create community projects. In addition, her interest in healthcare specifically drives forward new innovations to both research and health.
presentation will cover gut health and society, focusing on the connection between diet and digestive wellness. To begin, let's establish the definition of gut health. Gut health refers to the balance and optimal function of the many microorganisms that reside within our digestive tract. This ecosystem is known as the gut microbiome. The key metric for a healthy gut is not the absence of a disease, but rather the presence of a diverse and balanced microbial community. The microbiome performs several critical functions for the host. This includes digesting complex carbohydrates that humans cannot synthesize by themselves, synthesizing essential nutrients like vitamin K and B vitamins, supporting approximately 70% of the body's immune system, and forming a protective barrier against pathogens. A significant area of research is the gut-brain axis. This is basically a bidirectional communication network that links the gastrointestinal tract and the central nervous system. Gut microbes produce key neurotransmitters, including serotonin and dopamine, which can influence mood and cognitive function. Conversely, the central nervous system, particularly through stress signals, can alter gut motility and microbial balance. Diet is the primary factor that shapes the composition of the gut microbiome. Two main dietary components are crucial. First, prebiotics, which are basically non-digestible fibers that serve as fuel for beneficial bacteria. They're found in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Second are probiotics, which are live beneficial microorganisms, which are usually found within fermented foods like yogurt and kefir. In contrast, the Western diet pattern negatively impacts the microbiome. This diet is characterized by high levels of processed foods, refined sugars, and unhealthy fats with a low fiber content. The established consequences include a reduction in microbial diversity, the promotion of chronic low-grade inflammation, and also contribution to the rising rates of conditions like obesity and also type 2 diabetes. Broader societal shifts also affect the microbiome. These include the industrialization of food, which has reduced nutrient density and fiber, the widespread use of antibiotics, which can then disrupt microbial ecology, and the hygiene hypothesis, which essentially links reduced microbial exposure to altered immune system development. The resulting imbalance in the microbiome is termed as dysbiosis. This state is increasingly correlated with a wide range of chronic diseases. These span digestive disorders like IBS, metabolic diseases, autoimmune conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis, and various neurological disorders. Beyond diet, other lifestyle factors modulate gut health. Chronic stress, insufficient sleep, and lack of physical exercise are all known to negatively affect microbial diversity and gut barrier function. Therefore, a holistic approach is required to maintain gut health. The future of this field is moving towards personalized wellness. Technologies like microbiome sequencing are enabling tailored nutritional recommendations. In addition, advanced therapeutics are also in development, including symbiotics, materials, and regenerative medicine. Based on current evidence, and several actionable steps can be recommended to support a healthy gut. These include increasing the diversity of plant-based foods consumed, incorporating sources of fermented foods, limiting the intake of ultra-processed products, and maintaining adequate sleep and stress management. In summary, gut health is a foundational pillar of overall health. Modern dietary and lifestyle factors present significant challenges to the microbiome. An evidence-based approach centered on whole foods and a greater understanding of our microbial partners is essential. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya, for your presentation. And now we will be presenting our second to last presentation. So Ardra, she unfortunately was not able to make it here today, but she was able to complete a slideshow, and she uploaded the slideshow, and she researched about nutrition and mental health, understanding the brain-body connection. And we'll just skim through it real quick. She talks about key nutrition for brain health and mental health risks, teen mental health, and what we could do. And can we have one of the bio readers just read Arthur's bio real quick?
Can you go to third last slide?
This one?
One more. Or maybe one more. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Ardra is a rising freshman at Skyline High School, Sammamish. She was a co-founder and president of the Science Club at her middle school and is represented for school in the science competitions like the National Science Bowl, Science Olympiad, FLL, and FEC. Audra was most recently awarded first prize at the Washington State Science and Engineering Fair, and also received a special jury award and a nomination to the prestigious Thermo Fisher National Junior Innovation Challenge, where she, along with a handful of nominees, represented the state of Washington at the Nationals. Audra is fervently passionate about neuroscience and the importance of understanding the underlying causes for different neurodiverse medical conditions such as autism, dementia, Huntington's disease, and Alzheimer's. Through research and technology, aided medical breakthroughs, Audra believes that some of these diseases can be prevented if detectable in vitro or at early stages. She's also one of the founding members of the Seattle Brain Bee Club, which was recently formed for providing students access to resources and preparation for different neuroscience-based competitions. Audra served as one of the directors of education in the 2024 Seattle Neuroscience Conference, and this is her second consecutive year presenting and being on the leadership committee for the Seattle Neuroscience Education Initiative. Through this initiative, Audra hopes to raise awareness and create
Thank you so much. And now we'll be presenting Ashley Mahajan's presentation. Before we start the presentation, we're going to have a quick fire read.
Ashley is a rising sophomore at Emerald Ridge High School with a passion for scientific communication and community engagement. Her interest in biology and human health has led her to conduct independent immunology research, earning first place at the Washington State Science and Engineering Fair in both 2024 and 2025. Beyond academics, she served as a Kumon instructor where she aided students aged 4 to 14 in building foundational skills in math and reading. She's also had the opportunity to intern as a counselor in training at the YMCA and hold leadership roles in clubs like the National Junior Honor Society and their school's Power Team. Through these experiences, she's learned the value of clarity, patience, and service, qualities she hopes to carry forward in her pursuit of science and medicine.
Before we get started, we would just like to say that we couldn't finish Arthur's bio due to it being cut off. So we will send out the bio later along.
Today, I'll be diving into a concept we often experience but rarely pause to reflect on: intergenerational nutrition. We'll look at how the food choices of our parents and grandparents shape our diets, health, and even broader society. Intergenerational nutrition refers to the way dietary habits are passed down through families. Think grandma's soup recipe, dad's aversion to sugar, or mom's Sunday greens. These patterns are shaped by culture, income, beliefs, and biology. Diet is passed down not just behaviorally through shared meals or learned taste preferences, but biologically. Emerging research shows that even what a mother eats during pregnancy can influence a child's metabolism decades later. This is known as epigenetics. At the societal level, poor dietary habits can compound over generations, leading to rising rates of preventable diseases like type 2 diabetes and heart disease. This places immense pressures on public health systems and deepens health inequities. But this cycle can be broken. Encouraging healthy habits early, especially through education and parental role modeling, can help rewrite the script for future generations. Solutions must be inclusive, affordable, and culturally respectful. Ultimately, we inherit more than just genes. We inherit lifestyle choices. By understanding this, we can shift not just our own health trajectory, but that of generations to come. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for your presentation. And now we're off to our final quiz session. We're going to have Dave Arch, and he's going to be our quiz master.
As Joshi was saying, this is our last quiz session for today. And like before, it's going to be a mix of multiple choice and short answer questions. First question, what are 2 signs that a food might be ultra processed?
It's in the packaging.
I'll take that, yeah. Do you have another reason?
It's made from factories.
Sure, yeah. What is one benefit of including foods with probiotics in your diet?
It promotes gut health because of bacteria.
What does it mean when a food is fortified?
It means the meal has added sugars.
It's close. It's something added, but not necessarily sugars. Yeah. Yeah. Which food is most likely to be high in sodium?
Packaged ramen noodles.
Correct. Sorry. Which vitamin helps your body absorb calcium? Correct. Why might someone choose whole fruit over fruit juice, even if both are natural?
It doesn't have added sugars.
Yeah. Sorry. How does hydration affect how your body processes food? Yeah.
More water can help digest it.
Yeah. Which nutrient helps form hemoglobin, the part of red blood cells that carries oxygen? Yeah.
Iron.
Yep. Which of the following is most likely to raise blood sugar quickly?
A.
No.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it is white. Sorry. Which mineral helps your muscles contract and your nerves to function properly? Yeah.
Potassium.
You can check that. Correct. Which vitamin is involved in blood clotting? It's not A. Yeah.
It's K.
Yeah, it is K.
Oh.
What are the negative effects of caffeine? Yeah.
It can like have risk for like heart disease and loss of sleep.
Yeah.
That was the presentation.
Which of the following nutrients must be listed on a food label in the U.S.?
C.
C, it's not C.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fiber? Yeah, it is fiber. Which of the following, this is our last question, which of the following could be considered a whole food? If anyone wants more candy, feel free to grab some from here.
So we had a lot of fun with our quiz session. Thank you so much, Devarsh, for the quiz session. Before we finish off today, I'm going to give a small vote of thanks. And just want to say thank you to a few people that helped put this conference together, starting off with the bio readers. Ria and Kirnya, thank you so much for coming in and reading everyone's bios. And Tanushree, thank you so much for coming in last minute, helping out with slideshow, as well as Mira. Thank you both so much. And yeah, let's give them a moment. And thank you so much for the quiz masters. They were able to coordinate everything as well as get all the candy for everyone. So thank you so much, Devarsh and Vasya, for helping put that together. I'm sure everyone had lots of fun today with that. And thank you so much for bringing the mics and projectors. Aryan was here, and thank you so much, Aryan, for that. And also, thank you so much to Lasya and Tanushree for creating the long flyer. And I'm pretty sure that took lots of work and recruiting. So thank you so much for putting that together. And thank you so much for Renuka Aunty for guiding us and helping us put this entire conference together. So thank you so much, Renuka Aunty. Your support means a lot. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for coming here today on a Sunday. And we all truly appreciate it and hope you have a nice rest of your day.